Uh, Thank you guys for being here for Tamarac Talk. I'm John Schaefer. I'm here with Hennessy Williams, and I'm here with Perry Sack after the big show at Creel Gardens. How'd you guys enjoy the show?
It was a great time. I got to know the audience. They were mostly relatives. This place out with just, Hennessy Williams and in company.
And I had a blast, man. It was a great time, great crowd, great place. I like this place. And the owner, Eddie, good man.
So this is the only actual comedy show in all of Tamarac, and they're trying to build it up. How do you think the future of this room is going to go?
Swimmingly. The owner really cares about stand-up. The crowd that he brings in really loves stand-up, and they're serving, from what I can tell, really excellent food. So with those three things, I think you're guaranteed a hit.
All right, I think that Hennessy put it well. So
I was just going to say, I don't know what to add to that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Perry's
That
like,
was perfection, right there. That's what it was.
Perry's like, I think this place is going to close next week.
Oh, yeah, no, they're going out of business here.
If they keep doing these comedy shows. Where else would we know you from? I know you've done some television and some other stuff.
Yeah, if you were, just randomly looking at the screen on HBO Ballers, you might have seen me in a corner somewhere. You might have seen me in a corner on Versace, the Murder of Versace, FX. I did that. I played a reporter. Just my job was to yell, "Is that Versace's body?" Like that was my task. And in Ballers, I played a rookie for the New York Jets. I played a rookie at the rookie symposium that they hold right before
I'm sure you were better than any of their plays, but
That's
no,
right.
actually,
the Jets, yeah, man, the
they're
Jets
actually
showed up.
4-1. Wow.
They beat the Dolphins.
They beat the Dolphins.
Wow, they're 4-1.
Which means they're going to win the championship.
Clearly, anyone who beats the Dolphins is on a fast track.
For sure. Perry, you're really well known out here for doing stand-up comedy and nothing else. So,
No, I sell a mean vertical blind.
that's true. Perry also sells blinds, but you're going to wish that you were deaf when you see his stand-up. How do you like the comedy in Tamarac? There hasn't really been a lot of shows out here before.
I've done comedy in Tamarac years ago, not lately. Tonight was awesome. I had a blast. Great crowd. They were into it. They were laughing. No one was heckling. No one was leaving. They all were thanking us on the way out. That was a fun night.
Yeah, they definitely seemed like a really in-depth crowd. They really seemed to be into it. Not just your family.
No.
They even watched Perry. So you guys are brothers, right?
Yeah.
He's my older brother.
Oh, he's the older brother.
Lots of
He's
cocoa
like
butter.
10, 12 years older than me.
So the stand-up out here, this is what that they're trying to grow in this room. And what would you say would be the number one thing that they need to do to bring in more audience?
More audience, maybe more advertising, but also the comics can try to invite more as well. But I thought the crowd tonight was fantastic.
Yeah, they were a good crowd.
As far as what I would think is just like anything else, when you have something good, it's just a matter of people knowing it exists.
Absolutely.
And the ones
This is new, right?
exactly, and the ones who want to stick around will find it. Like once they're brought here, they'll stick around. So I think it's just a matter of introducing it to more people because I'm guessing there's probably not a lot of Haitian restaurants anyway in this part of Tamarac, so that's its own calling card. And then on top of that, you're going to bring something as unique as comedy. That's just a matter of letting people know it exists. So once that's conquered, I think the rest is history.
And the best part about it is the owner, after the show, by the way, the owner, people watching would know this, the owner got up and talked about how much he loves comedy and how great it feels for him to sit here and laugh and enjoy the show. He said, it brings me so much pleasure to see comedy in my club. It was really heartfelt, you knew he was genuine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He loves it.
You need an owner to be really invested into a show and make sure this is going to go well. This is what we want to do. As for just stand-up comedy in general, I know that you guys have done stand-up for a very long time out here. What are your hopes and dreams with the comedy in Florida or in general?
Personally, I think Florida, South Florida, could and should be as synonymous with comedy as we think of Atlanta or Chicago or Denver, where obviously we know about New York and LA because those are mecca hubs. But we know about these other cities too, and Florida has just as much infrastructure, just as much media outreach, just as much capital investment capabilities to be as big of a heavy hitter as those other cities. So I would hope that people here, the comedians that come up, aren't afraid to try to make a career out of it while staying here, because media is developed and ways to showcase their talents is developed here. That would be my hope.
To me, honestly, I grew up in Boston, and there's great comedians in Boston. Not good, great. I'm surprised how many awesome comics there are in South Florida. And I mean it. There's lots of great comics down here. You have so many cruise ship. This is, you know, the hub for the cruise ships, and they all live down here. You get so many great, some guys doing comedy 30, 40 years, and they're still out doing these clubs too. And then they get on a cruise ship and they go to Europe and they do comedy for 3 weeks, you know. Great comics down here.
So this is a great place to start, build, grow, and even just join the social media and really create a name for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Tamarac is where it will start.
The melting pot of South Florida.
Pot is
But
Tamarac.
it's true. But it's true. Like,
It
we
is.
have a very unique experience being in South Florida, where a lot of cities, like, what makes New York great is, one, you get up a lot. You have an opportunity pretty much every hour after 3 p.m. to do stand-up comedy. And two, you're going to do it in front of so many different types of people. While Florida may not be able to give you stand-up after 3 p.m., they'll give you any kind of audience you can think of if you
Absolutely.
search hard enough for it. And that's invaluable to people. So, like, if you're from Kansas or you're from Iowa, you kind of know your crowd. And you might be limited because that's your crowd, and that's
Correct.
who lives in Iowa. But Florida, Miami, South Florida in general, this is such a melting pot that you're obviously given an opportunity to sharpen your sword with other sorts of stones.
You know, and another
John, your
thing
battery's
too is
dying.
a lot of times,
Really?
all right, we went over. Last thing I will say is a lot of times you'll make a post and some of the crowds, of course, plenty of the crowds in South Florida, older crowds, and they'll go, oh, look at the blue hairs and this and that. You don't know how many amazing shows I've done for the South Florida crowds where everyone's 55 and up and they go crazy. You get 200-300 people in the room and they love every minute of it. Some of my favorite shows have been with the older crowds. I mean, of course, I'm an older guy too. I just look younger than them. But, but I love doing comedy for the older crowds. I love doing comedy for any crowd. But I really do love the older crowds too in South Florida.
Well, one last question. Where can we find you guys on social media?
Hennessy Wills, spelled just like the drink, HENNESSY, Wills, WILLS, on everything that matters.
Perry Sack on Facebook only, Perry S-A-K, and also on America's Most Wanted.
For Tamarac Talk, I'm John Schaefer. Thank you very much for tuning in with us.